What's up, guys? My name's JB Copeland, and I'm a youth pastor at Gateway Church in Dallas, Texas, and I'm so excited about this. And guys, I just want you to know that I'm right where you are. I'm trying to figure this thing out, and I'm just so excited that I was reached out to about this because, lucky me, I have a dad that's been in ministry. He was a youth pastor for a long time, and now he's an executive pastor at Gateway Church. And so he pours into me every single day, telling me the things that he's learned. And so what I'm about to share with you is not from my experience. These are things that I've become, that I've learned and began to use in my life that he's learned. So what I'm going to share with you is Pastor Byron's, who's my dad, Pastor Byron's 5 life-changing nuggets when it comes to spiritual leadership. And these things that he's taught me have really helped me in an immense way. And so I want to share that with you. I asked him if it was okay. He gave me the thumbs up because at the end of the day, we're all in this together. We're not in competition. This is for the kingdom. And so I'm so excited about this. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in to Pastor Byron's 5 life-changing nuggets. Number 1 is treat yourself like a child of God. And that sounds easy, doesn't it? You know, I am a child of God. That's my identity. That's who I am. But a lot of us don't treat ourselves that way. We overwork ourselves. We don't take time for ourselves. We fill up our schedules with all these other things and forget about us. And guys, we can't function unless we are taking care of ourselves. We gotta take care of ourselves first. Think about it like on an airplane. When the little things drop down, when there's high pressure, what do? You put it on you first, and then you put it on the other person or the person by you. And a lot of us are in ministry, there's lots of needs with our leaders, there's needs with our students, and our first reaction is to help them first. But guys, we have a responsibility to steward ourselves, to help ourselves. And usually that's how it starts, and then we start making mistakes and we're in a bad frame of mind, we feel tired, all this kind of stuff, and we start thinking about how bad we are, shameful, guilt, all these different feelings. And guys, it goes back to realizing who you are. You are a child of God, a son and a daughter of the Most High, and He loves you so much. And He's put you in this position because He trusts you. The mistakes that you've made, it's okay. Forgive yourself, it's time to take a step and move forward and realize who you are. I'm gonna read this verse to you. Psalm 139, 17 through 18 says this: "How precious are your thoughts about me, O God? They cannot be numbered. I can't even count them. They are outnumbered by the grains of sand." Guys, He loves you so much, the thoughts that He thinks about you. So guys, I just wanna tell you, just begin to focus on yourself. Begin to live from the overflow. You can't live from having nothing in you. You have to live from the overflow. Let God fill you up, and as it flows out of you, that's how you'll love people better. Number 2 is make it about others. And I know that kind of just collides with the last point I made about treating yourself like a child of God. But guys, you can't make it about others the way that Jesus wants you to unless you are filled up, unless you do take time to fill yourself up. What I'm saying about this is don't be selfish. Selfish leaders hurt teams, selfish leaders hurt churches, selfish leaders hurt the students or the congregation. We cannot be selfish, guys. You have to understand that, guys, we have to have a pure motivation. And I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes I can find myself having a selfish motivation or these thoughts about me, and how cool I look and this and that. And guys, we have to check that. We have to make sure that we're honest with ourselves and say, you know what, God, I'm here not because of me and not because you're trying to rise me on this pedestal to make it all about me. God, I'm here because of these students. I'm here because of these leaders. I'm here because you placed me here. And God, I want you to give me a motivation that is from you. God, anything in me that isn't of you, God, I just ask that you would remove it. And so that selfish ambition that you feel is common. It's common, but we have to ask God to get that out of us. We have to ask Him to get it out of us, all right? Number 3 is be honest with kindness in every situation. This is a good one. All right, Proverbs 27:6 says this: "Wounds from a sincere friend are better than many kisses from an enemy." It's crazy, guys. I don't know if you're anything like me, but I'm a big people pleaser. I'm working on it, I am, but it's like people will walk all over me and do things, and I just am too scared to say anything. And I just love this because as I've been in ministry for the past year, I've really realized that there's a very big need to love with honesty. And I'm sure if you're a pastor, if you are a part of a church and you're helping lead a ministry, you realize that if you're not honest with the things that are a red flag, if you're not honest with your team, if you're not honest with students, something can happen to where your culture changes because you just wouldn't want to have that conversation. And this is a really big deal because this one's a pretty packed point, but we have to be honest with kindness. And what that means is there's a few different types of people in this world. Really, there's two. There's people that are too scared because they don't want to hurt anyone's feelings to be honest with them. And then there's people that are okay with being completely honest, but they have no love when they share it. And there has to be a happy medium. So I don't know which aisle you fall on. I'm on the aisle where it's like, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, the people pleasing that I talked about. But there has to be a mixture to where as a good leader, you are able to sit someone down and say, hey, I love you so much. You're doing an amazing job, but when you did this, this is what that meant. This is how that came off. This is what I saw, and this is what we need to work on. You have to be honest, and you have to point out things to people. Did you know the best way to love people is to be honest with them? The best way to love people is to be honest with them. If you had a kid, and that kid kept on making the same mistake over and over again, and you kept just patting him on the back and saying, good job, are you being a good parent? No, you're not being a good parent. You have to correct in a loving way. The correction has to come from a loving heart. People don't care what you say until they know that you love them. So it starts with love. It starts with love, but this is a very, very packed one. And guys, I just want to challenge you. These situations are awkward. This is something that my team says. We say, hey, we're gonna lean into awkward. Let's lean into this awkward situation. And guys, it's not easy to have awkward situations. It's not easy to have awkward conversations. But you have to have these conversations with honesty and love, and let that be your culture for where you're at. Honest conversations with a heck of a lot of love. That makes sense, all right? Love first and be honest, all right? Number 4 is do your best. And listen, it's Matthew 11:28-30. It says, come to me, all of you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. Guys, I found myself a couple of times in places to where I feel this big burden for numbers on Wednesday nights, or this big burden for signups for camp, or all these burdens that we're not meant to carry. Can I tell you something? 2,000 years ago, Jesus was on that cross, and all the burdens that you feel, all the burdens of this world demonically were on his shoulders. These things that hold us back. And in that moment, he died for those, and then he rose again. That burden has already been carried. We are not beasts of burden, we're sheep. We're not meant to carry burdens. So this is what I'm saying. Do your best and understand that God has put you in this position. The burden that you're carrying, of this stress, these things that keep you up at night, these things that are upsetting or make you feel like you're always on edge, guys, that's not for you to carry. And so I just want to tell you, listen, take that burden and just figuratively just give it to God. Just say, God, I can't carry this anymore. It's not a performance. This isn't a performance. I'm here because you've asked me to do my best, and I'm going to do my best. And I'm a football player. I played football all the way through high school and college, and it was always about the performance. Like, how is he doing? What is this? How fast was the 40-yard dash? How much can he squat? All of these things. And sometimes that can carry over to my job now, and that's just not how it works. And I've had to really understand that this isn't how it works. That's not what God wants. God has called us to be here to do our best, and he is the one that does the supernatural. Take that off your shoulders now. We are only in charge of the natural. He does the supernatural. So the things that you're praying for, the things that you're wishing for, the things that maybe you're working really hard for and drilling yourself into the ground and taking time from your wife and your family, guys, listen, start praying. Give it to him. Ask him to do the supernatural. He's the one that wants to do the work. So let him do it. You do the natural, he'll do the supernatural. And listen, the last one, number 5, is live and demonstrate truth with grace. And this is James 2:13. It says, because judgment without mercy will be shown to anyone who has not yet been merciful. Mercy triumphs over judgment. And what this is saying is you're going to deal with a lot of students, a lot of leaders that you're going to have honest conversations with, like I talked about earlier. But our first reaction should be to love, to show mercy. You think about the Ark of the Covenant, and there was the law, and on top of the law was the mercy seat. And that's how God designed it, is that in situations in life, the first thing that you can do, no matter their political stance, no matter their sexual orientation, whatever it is, you can love them first. That's what God is saying. The mercy seat sits on top of the law and the truth, but the way to the truth is through love. And so guys, I just thank you guys so much for giving me the time to do this. But if you have any questions, please shoot me a DM. I'll ask them to put my Instagram handle down in the comments. But so excited to share with you guys. If you need anything, I'm here for you, and we're all in this together. Love you guys.